Brazilian women versus Dominican women. I already know I'm gonna get some hate off this video. Just because the nature of the title, you know, it's like it seems like I'm putting women up against each other, and that's not really the case. For those who don't know, I just came back from Brazil, so people been hitting me up saying, you know, what's the big difference between a Dominican woman and a Brazilian woman? So I'm just sharing my opinion, take it with the smallest grain of salt. I know how y'all get in the comments, y'all be saying some real hateful shit, but it's cool though. Like, I'm used to this by now. So yeah, I'm just gonna share with you. I'm gonna keep it real and just keep it straightforward, all right? So we're gonna get straight into this video. Y'all finna light my ass up. Please be nice, people. It's a fucking opinion. It's just an opinion. All right, so we're just gonna start straight off. I guess like the easiest part is looks, all right? Women are women in all countries, in my personal opinion. I don't really see too much of a difference between Brazilian women and Dominican women. All right, if you're just looking straight off of appearance, you know, they both are beautiful in their own way. Now, what I will say is that Brazilians, they have a wider range in terms of like, you know, skin color because for one, there's a lot more people in Brazil and there's a lot more diverse. So you're gonna see a lot of European looking Brazilians all the way down to your indigenous, and then you have like the blacks. And then in Dominican Republic, they lean more on like the brown side. So you get like a lot of mulattoes. You get like, you know, people my skin color, you get people even darker. So I would say that's like the only biggest difference between Brazilians and Dominicans in terms of appearance wise. I think it's a lot more brown skin people in Dominican Republic versus, I take that back, it's actually a lot of black Brazilians as well in Brazil. For people who don't know, there's actually more black people in Brazil than there are in the United States. Because like during the Atlantic slave trade, it was tons of Africans that got imported straight to Brazil. So Brazil, it's a lot of black Brazilians out there too. But comparing it to the Europeans, I feel like there are a lot more European Brazilians in Brazil versus European-looking Dominicans. I mean, there are white Dominicans, but it ain't nowhere near as many as, like, you know, the white Brazilians. So if you're looking for, like, a wider range of women, then, yeah, you will go to Brazil because I feel like, you know, they have a little bit of everything. You know, Dominicans lean more on the more brown side or melanated side or whatever you want to call it. That's more of my speed. You know, I like brown skin, caramel skin, chocolate skin. Like, that's kind of like what I like. So, yeah, looks, you know, I would say they're pretty much about the same. Now, when it comes into the mentality, that is when there's like a huge night and day difference between Brazilians and Dominicans. And just for the record, this video is referencing to Dominicans who were born in the Dominican Republic. You know, they grew up there, they was raised there. Not the ones who are from America, or maybe they was born in the Dominican Republic and they moved to America, like, you know, from an early age. I'm talking about Dominicans from the actual island who grew up there, they lived there. Okay, like straight up native Dominicans. And the same thing with Brazilians. We talking about Brazilians from Brazil, like none of the American or, you know, the people who moved out the country. So the biggest difference between Brazilian women and Dominican women is how their countries support them and the opportunities that they have, and just that kind of shapes the mentality of the way that the women think in that country. And let me explain. All right, so Brazilian women, one of the things that you're going to notice in Brazil is that the women are kind of supported, or I guess they have more opportunities compared to the women in Dominican Republic in terms of education and job opportunities, and having that push to do more than just play that domesticated role or the stay-at-home type of role that you will see a lot in the DR. So for that reason, you know, the women, they come off I would say less dependent on their partner and a lot more humble. And that is one thing I noticed with Brazilian women. They definitely come off a lot more humble. Like, even though that they're doing a lot, that they don't really express that they're doing a lot, they kind of are just very humble or chill about it. Another thing about Brazilian women is they don't really be into that begging stuff, and I'm going to kind of touch on that in a little second. But, you know, they just are kind of more, I guess, independently driven, and they just have more opportunities. So I feel like, you know, the women there are a lot different, very humble. They don't really have that stuck-up mentality. Like, when you talk to them, like, it's very easy to approach a Brazilian woman, especially if you know a little bit of Portuguese. Like, it's very, very easy to go, you know, talk to one or, I guess, interact with them. They don't have, like, that stuck-up type of mentality where they kind of like untouchable, or you got to be a certain somebody to talk to them. Like, they don't really be on that type of energy. Like, they're really down to earth, very compassionate, very caring, go out the way to do more than just like the bare minimum. Like if they really are into somebody, like they're gonna go all the way out. So yeah, like I can just say Brazilian women, like it's very easy to connect with them, and it doesn't really take that much effort. Oh, and they also really love PDA, so that's something you can expect when being with a Brazilian woman is the affection in public. Like they really into that type of stuff. All right, now we're about to get into Dominican women. This is where I feel like I'm gonna get cussed out. All right. So Dominican women, they definitely got a different type of personality. Dominican women, they have like the hustler mentality or the hustler mindset. A lot of that has to deal with the fact how they view Americans. And that's something that I noted in my last video. I talked about how just Dominicans in general, like they really, a lot of them idolize America, or they have this idea of what America is like. And so they like to imitate or, you know, recreate the things that they see based from like TV, movies, and social media. You know, very serious about their money or financial security within a relationship. And I feel like a lot of that has to deal with the fact that a lot of the women in the Dominican Republic don't necessarily have the resources to thrive independently. And because, you know, in Latin America, especially in a place like the DR, where the men are kind of dominant, and I talked about this in another one of my videos, how it's like the whole machismo type of culture. A lot of the women become very dependent. You know, that's what some will call it, like needy, or, you know, the begging type. And, you know, I feel like a big reason for this is how they've been conditioned into society to, you know, kind of just play this domestic type of role, or I guess kind of like the stay-at-home role, the subservient type of position, you know, stay at home, cook, clean, watch the kids. And you know, there are women that do work and they do try to get education, but it's still not enough for them to kind of support themselves. And for that reason, you know, a lot of the women, they become very, very, very dependent heavily on a man. And that's something that has been kind of ingrained into their culture, you know, from a very early age. That's why you see a lot of them marrying like older men or whatever, because they want that type of security. You know, from the outside looking in, you know, especially from a gringo's perspective, it might come off a bit abrasive if you just meet a woman down there and then she's just kind of throwing out her life problems to you and kind of expecting you to like carry the weight or fix it immediately. And if you just met the person, it kind of just throws you off, because it's like, man, like I don't really know you like that. Or maybe it kind of makes you feel like maybe they want to use you or take advantage. And so like, I don't really think that that's the case every single time. I think that's just because, you know, a lot of them been conditioned into that mindset. You could say that in pretty much almost all cultures is the same way, especially in Dominican Republic. The women are very, very dependent on a man, and they don't waste any time trying to express that to you, like when you first meet them. Another reason why they might act like that way towards gringos specifically is because, once again, I told you this, in the DR, they have this fascination of America, or this perception of America, of what they think America is. And a lot of them really do think that Americans are rich. And that's one of the things I always have to explain to people down there, especially like my friends and, you know, the people who I get close to down there, is like, America ain't what it's like to be on TV and like how y'all see everybody in mansions and driving nice cars and stuff like that. That's not really the reality for all American people. But once again, that conditioned mindset from an early age, you know, it's the stigma that when you see an American man down there, it's like seeing God on earth, because according to that stigma, an American man is able to fulfill any of your needs, quote unquote. So that's why when, you know, you come in contact with a woman down there, especially if she's from like a impoverished neighborhood or from a lower class income, you know, she really expects for you to take care of her all the way. Like she thinks that you got money. And of course, once you are in a relationship with any woman, you know, you're going to take care of the woman. Like, I mean, I don't know any guy, like, regardless of what country it is, who ain't going to take care of their woman if they really, you know, feeling them like that. But I think the thing with Dominican women is they don't waste no time expressing that. You know, for that reason, it can feel kind of weird when you first meeting somebody and they already asking for favors and handouts. And it's like the earliest stages of your relationship. And I do think Dominican women, they don't waste no time with wanting to know the status of the relationship. Like, you know, you can't spend a lot of time with a Dominican woman trying to make up your mind. Like, you know, in America, how y'all can kind of play games and try to figure out, like, what are we? Are we talking? Are we in a relationship? Or, like, what are we? Dominican Republic, it's not really like that. Like, you know, they want to know if we together or not. Like, like that, like, you know, so you can't really waste no time with a Dominican woman. One thing I do hear is like people like to say, especially gringos, they say like Dominican women, they play a lot of games, and I think it just depends on a woman, to be honest, because like you can meet some Dominican women that don't really be on that type of energy, but for the ones that do be kind of like, oh, like, Poppy, I need to buy my son some milk, or, you know, like, I gotta go buy my grandmother some medicine. Like, those typical things, I think that has to do with the fact that, once again, limited resources, limited economic opportunities, and, I mean, unfortunately, that, you know, those games do kind of happen. Not saying that it makes it right. I'm not agreeing with it, but that is why you can see that, because, once again, it goes back to the whole idea of a lot of the women down there, they don't really have a lot to kind of propel them or push them forward in life. And even if they do try to get higher levels of education, you know, still some of them are still stuck in the same place. And it seems like they can't do anything but play that subservient, stay-at-home type of position, which some men, they like that, you know. Some men, they do like a woman to be at home or whatever. So it just really depends on your preference. But when people say like Dominican women play games, I think that's where that really stems from, you know, just looking at the bigger picture. But when you do find the right Dominican woman, like, Dominican women, they definitely gonna ride for you all the way. And I'm not talking about like, you know, somebody that you found off the strip. I'm talking about like a legit, you know, serious committed relationship. Once you find the right one, like, they definitely gonna support you. I mean, those are like the biggest differences between Brazilian women and Dominican women. From what I've seen, everybody got their preferences and what they like. So it just really depends on you. You know, I ain't trying to say like one is better from the other. I think some people gonna think that from this video. I'm just kind of just giving you like my observations and things that I noticed just being a gringo in both of the countries. You know, this is just what I've seen from my experience. But, you know, leave your comments down below. What's your thoughts on Dominican women, Brazilian women, the things that you've noticed. And like, I know I left out a lot of stuff, but I didn't want to make it too surface level. Like, I kind of just wanted to get into like the big things. I think the biggest difference between Brazilian women and Dominican women is definitely like the mentality that they've been conditioned into because of their societies. But yeah, you already know what to do. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe. Catch my next video. All right, peace.